Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be going over GUI. Well, we're not going to be going over it exactly, but we're going to be preparing ourselves so we can continue working on our GUI in the next few videos. And I'm going to start off by creating a new package to house all the GUI. And I'm going to create a class for the GUI. And I'm also going to create a new package. I'm going to call it assets. And I'm going to create a new class that'll hold the assets. Because inside of entity, we have a static model. And well, this static model is pretty much going to be used for the whole game. So we might as well just put it in its own little class, which I like to call assets. And everything will be able to use it. So just move everything over here, and and that should be it for assets. Now under entity, we're going to have a couple problems, and well, by couple, I mean one. And it's going to be this model render. We're going to use assets get model dot render. Perfect. And the last few errors should be in the main. And an entity is going to be replaced with assets. Okay, now that we have our assets class and it's complete, pretty much everything that will be shared across the whole game, much like our quad, is going to be set inside this assets. So that way we're not saving the model multiple times, the same model multiple times inside the graphics card. It's useless. It's just using more memory than we need. Even though that probably wouldn't make a difference for a couple of quads. But still, that's memory that you could be using. So now that we got assets out of the way, let's get on with shaders. We're going to need a whole nother shader code for the GUI. The GUI is going to have its own shader. And I'm hinting at something that's going to be coming up in a future tutorial. We're going to be able to have a bunch of textures on one sheet with this, specifically for the GUI. And if you want, well, you could use this GUI shader for the world as well. But I feel I dove too much into that. So under GUI, I'm going to create a static shader, protected. We'll go with private. And we'll go ahead and initialize our GUI class. And shader, well, we won't make this static. For now, we might have to make it static later on, but for right now, it doesn't need to be static. Alright, so now the shader will be GUI. And that should be it for now in the GUI class. I want to work on this real fast, and I want the fragment shader to have a vector or a uniform we'll go with a vector 3. I'll call it, no, a vector 4, and I'll call it color. And I'm just going to comment this out and have GL frag color be equal to color for now. Alright, that should be it for the shader. Now we have to edit the shader class itself, because we only have 2 set uniforms here. We're going to need another one for vector 4f. Going to copy this code over here. It's not imported. Alright. Now the function to set a vector 4 value will be GL uniform 4f, and all we have to do is pass in the location, value x, value y, value z, and value w. Alright, so this should set the vector 4f within our GUI shader. Okay, so the plan is that we're going to render a transparent quad, just to see if this whole little system here works. So let's go ahead and create a render method, and I'm only going to pass in the camera. And does camera have... No? Oh, okay. Does camera have a method to just return the projection? No, it does not. Well, in that case, I'm just going to create another method. It's going to be get untransformed projection, and this will just return projection. Alright, that's it for the camera. I thought I had a method like that in there, I guess not. But anyways, we're only going to be needing the projection. We're not going to be using any other thing within the camera, just the projection. Okay, now let's get on to rendering the quad. I'm going to create a private matrix here, and I'm just going to call it temp for temporary. And temp is going to equal a new matrix for f, and we'll scale it. We'll scale it by We'll make it significantly big, 87. And all that we need to do for now in the rendering is just camera get untransformed projection, multiply it with temp, and I believe we can put it inside of temp. All that's left to do is to bind the shader, set the uniform projection to... Oh, okay, yeah, that's better than what I'm thinking of. Just for now. There we go. Or, instead of having this whole business, we can just scale it by the 87 value and put that in matte, I think. Yeah. Awesome. That worked out perfectly. All that's left to do now is to go to Assets, get Model, and we'll render it. And that should be it for the GUI for now. Let's go ahead and create it. After we create the world, I'll create the GUI. I also realized I forgot something in GUI, and I forgot to set the color, but I'll go back to that after we render the GUI. Alright, inside the GUI, I forgot to set the shader uniform. Color. And 0.4 F. And there we go. We should be able to run and see the quad in the center. There is the quad in the dead center of the screen. Also, couldn't I just use, yeah. Alright, we'll translate it back 2 units. Nothing on the Y and nothing on the Z. So we could just put it all the way up there. Or down there. So now that we got simple rendering for our GUI done, I'll see you all in the next video where what should I choose? I think I'll go over tile sheets next. I'll see you in that video.